welcome back to Rabbits Forever. So today we're going to be doing the video standing up and without a table or anything, because today I'm going to be doing a video on handling your bunnies. I've gotten a lot of questions about this from newer breeders or new owners or just pet owners. It's a very common question with little kids because these guys tend to be very, not aggressive, but scratchy with little kids, because the kids just pick them up and don't really know how to handle them like that, and he kind of freaked out. I'm amazed he's not freaking out just doing this. I was actually hoping he would, just to give an example on how to try to control them. But these guys are also decently used to being handled, and that's why I can pick them up like this. Look at that cute little scrunch face. But normally when you get a baby bunny, as soon as you grab them, they're scratching and freaking out. And it could be because it is morning right now and these guys were getting ready to go to bed. So that could be another reason, because depending on the time of day, the more active your bunny is, because they are, I don't remember what the actual name's called, but they're most active at dawn and dusk. So if you're not handling them around that time, they're typically pretty calm. Like this baby, I would be happy to just hold and be perfectly content and happy right now because he's being very sweet. But I wanted to show different ways of handling them today because not every way works. Because when you pick up a bunny like this, you leave yourself open to a lot of scratches. Now, the biggest rule to keep yourself from getting scratched is wearing long sleeves. I rarely ever wear long sleeves with bunnies. You guys have probably noticed from my other videos. I'm pretty sure I don't wear long sleeves in any of them. And if I do, they might be like 3/4 sleeves. I never wear long sleeves. I don't even think I own a shirt that actually is a full long sleeve. So that's why I'm wearing my jacket, because I didn't want to go through and dig through my closet to see what I have. But today, beside the point of long sleeves, another thing to wear is not to wear like V-necks and stuff. This is still pretty, not super low, but it's decently low, because if you're holding them up against your chest and stuff, they can still dig their claws like that right into your chest. And if you have a baby bunny, you know their paws have teeny tiny sharp cat-like claws. They're very, very aggressive with those sometimes. So best way to handle a bunny if it's not already like this and you're just picking them up, I'm gonna get closer so you guys can see better, is you grab them by their ears, and then they have this little tuft of scruff back here, which is just extra skin. It's not, don't just grab them by the fur, because then that can hurt and it can pull the fur out. So if you're doing a show rabbit and stuff, that can ruin their fur right there. But you just grab them by their ears and their scruff. And at that point, you have full control of their upper half of their body and their head, which is definitely probably one of the most dangerous parts. I personally think their back feet are by far the most dangerous. And then how you would go from there, imagine if this little guy's on a table, you want to pick them up, scoop them up from their butt, and that gives you full control. Because then you can squeeze on their loin, and they're not going to, don't full on squeeze it and be aggressive. And they do that sometimes. I don't know why. I think it's just because they're very uncomfortable. And that gives you full control of their lower half of their body. So this is the first time I've ever done this with this baby, other than, just scruffing it so that way it doesn't scratch me. But as you see, and then you can gently, the more you get used to it, the better you'll get at it, of course. But yeah, so I have, see, the little guy just tried to wiggle around, and I just grabbed it tighter around the loin area, because then he can't fling his back feet up and scratch my wrist or anything. Yeah, that gives you full control of the bunny. It's not going to do anything at this point. It can't do anything. It can sure try. You might lose grip on the scruff, which, yeah, then it'll be able to get out. And don't just hold it by the loin and the hips, because then, yeah, you can hurt your bunny by doing that. So the best way to do it is if it starts struggling and you can't keep a hold of it, just let it go. Nothing's going to happen if this little guy falls on the floor. He'll be perfectly fine. He might get a little hurt, a baby bit. There are chances, very small chances, of him breaking his back or something. But again, that's a very small chance. The likelihood of your bunny falling from chest height to the ground and breaking its back is pretty seldom. It does happen. I've seen it happen before. But we're going to probably estimate high out of the 100 rabbits I've dropped, because babies, they freak out. They like to squirm around, and I've been breeding rabbits for a decade now. So yeah, you drop a lot of baby bunnies about this size, because this is when they get really temperamental and they want to just dart and get away. So that's one way of holding them. Another way is the armpit method, where you just scoop them up by the armpits and the butt. You always want to support that butt. And this method is more of if you have a bunny who's not going to freak out, because this way the bunny can do a lot of damage to your wrists and it hurts a lot. And so that's more of a pet way. If your rabbit's already pretty used to you, you're used to your rabbit, you've handled them quite a bit, it's a very good way of just a quick, easy scoop up, you're good. And as you see, I'm always cradling him like this because he is a newer bunny. So this is definitely the most comfortable because his eyes are covered for the most part. And he's not seeing all the scary stuff, and he just poked his head out. But typically, when you have a bunny who's freaking out, you want to pinch in with your shoulder, because if not, they'll just dart out the back. But yeah, he's not seeing all the scary TV and couches, so scary. But for them, yes, because you're moving around, especially if you're in 4-H or FFA or something, this is a lifesaver, because sometimes you're walking from barn to barn to barn trying to figure out where you're supposed to be. Or if you don't have a carrier. If you have a carrier, then that's easy, but at the same time, you're holding this big old heavy carrier. But yeah, so if you just have one bunny, this is really easy. You can walk from the back of the barn to the front of the barn, and the bunny's not going to freak out because it's seeing all the other rabbits, it's seeing the cages, it's hearing people walking by, it's not seeing the people walking right by it, because that's a very stressful time. And bunnies like to freak out a lot, and you don't want at that point to drop your bunny and somebody step on it as they're walking by, because usually there's good 10-20 people in the barn at that time, and you're all trying to work in that small space. At least ours was. I don't know about yours. The fair that I went to, it was pretty busy during showtime. So you were always just walking right by people, and I had a buck who I could hold pretty easily like this, and he'd be perfectly fine. But that was also because I had him for years, and he did that for years. He worked with little kids, he let little kids handle him. When I say little kids, I'm talking about like 5 and 6 year olds. So, and maybe even younger than that. I've had I think she was 3 when she was first just playing with bunnies, and yeah, she could just handle him and she'd be fine. But yeah, and so he was super relaxed, super calm, didn't really care. At this point, this baby is pretty relaxed. She's not gonna freak out and do a bunch. She might if there were other people and stuff walking around and be sitting there poking at him, because, you know, the people who go to fair, they're always like, Ooh, ears, look at the cute little lop ears and the face. Let me pet your face. And so then the baby bunnies are like, oh my goodness, don't touch me. But beside the point, that was the second way of handling them, or the third way of handling them. And this is definitely by far my favorite way of handling any bunny that I don't know. And if you really feel like you're not going to get, if they're going to freak out, because at this point right here, this bunny can easily just jump off. If he pulled his head back, he could just jump off or fall off. Is you can always stick your hand like this over, and my hand slightly covering his head and hugging his body closer to my body. So even if he pulls his head back, it gives me that chance to grab his head. It's just a quick grab and I can push it back under. And usually he'll just tuck it under and not fight me because he's scared already. So, but those are the 3 best handling methods in my opinion. You'll probably talk to other breeders and they'll tell you others. In this community that we have in the rabbit world, you always learn new things. You're never not learning. You never know it all. There's no such thing as knowing all of it because there's new methods people start using every year. And so we're always just improving. That is the goal of this whole of breeding rabbits, is just improve yourself as well as your animals. According to breed standard, of course. You don't just randomly throw 2 in together and boom, have babies, unless you're doing meat, then it doesn't really matter. If they're all just being eaten, then who cares? But yeah, so that's the gist of the video. The 3 best handling methods is definitely ears, scruff, and butt. That gives you the best control. Under the arms and the butt, it's definitely a pet hold. And then once you actually get them in your arms, just tuck them under. Woo! And that's another reason why you just tuck them under and boom, you're good. Best handling methods right there. You guys have a great day. Thank you for watching. If you guys have any questions on anything rabbit related, please ask me and I'll try to get back to you. I'll try to make a quick video on it at least. Have a great day. Bye.